gentle saxophones. You're listening to the Lagoon podcast. Okay, first things first. This podcast is about a month old, and the Twitter feed is like, I don't know, 5 months old or something. And I've been a lazy prick about this show, and I probably will continue to be a lazy prick about the show, but it's my show, and what I say goes with it. Now, hearing myself say that, I sound like a real prick, telling the people who ask me when they're gonna hear this thing to step off, and I really am not. You people, Luke, my dad, Katie, Maxwell, Sarah, you guys, if it weren't for you, this thing wouldn't be online. If it weren't for people who cared, I wouldn't be sharing this. I wouldn't be exploring this side of me and this side of people, meeting new people like Brian or Reed. And so, like, real sincerely, thank you, because you're motivating me at a time where it's sometimes really hard to do anything, even though I have all the time in the world. And I do feel sorry for not getting this out. I know I didn't let anybody down, or that anyone really is that invested in this, but I know people were waiting, and there's been some issues with, like, finding a host server and my files being too big and this and that. And I think producing them in GarageBand's a mistake, but you know what? I know it. Until it gets me in any real trouble, I'll continue to do it. The next thing that I wanted to kind of talk about, and I really should have segued that better. Let's see. I'm producing them in GarageBand, and one thing that I don't know about how to produce them, there you go, is I don't know what to do for a monologue, or not a monologue, or advertisements, or how to start these things, really. I know I listen to a lot of podcasts. Sometimes they're live. Sometimes they start with a real long monologue. Sometimes they're all monologues. Sometimes they start with written advertisements or totally impromptu advertisements or somewhere in between. And I don't know what to do, but I think that's kind of what I'm going to stick with, is not quite knowing what I want to do, because that gives me some freedom. Now, I think when you're creating something, you need to give yourself the freedom to explore and the freedom to... you don't want to put too many walls around you, because, like, I don't want to feel like I have to say something if I don't have anything to say. Because then it's just like filler, and I don't want to produce filler content. I want to produce good content. So I'm going to try to write something or come up with something to say before these shows, oftentimes probably related to the interview. But sometimes I might not. If there's a good interview or I don't have anything really to say, then I just won't put anything there, and it'll go straight into the interview. But or I'll introduce the interview probably. But I just want to say that this is a free form, and I don't know what to do. And if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Maybe I'll do 10-minute interviews with other people. Who knows? I'm gonna give myself some creative creative leeway. That's not right. Creative leeway. If this monologue had a title, that would be the title. But I also wanted to add that, creativity shouldn't be limited from doing things or to be obligated to do things. Last note, and I hate to participate in this, but maybe this dress thing, this white and gold or blue and black dress, if you're listening at a later date, is really just, a reminder that everybody experiences things differently, and that the whole world is subjective, and we're looking at everything through our own Instagram filter, the one called Jack Lagoon or Grayson or Reed, and everybody's experiencing something a little bit differently. Now, I don't see the blue and black dress, but the white and gold dress is hideous. Maybe the other one's beautiful. Maybe you think the white one's beautiful. Maybe you think it's white. Maybe you think it's black. Either way, I think everybody's seeing it a little bit different. And everybody sees things different, so maybe when people aren't seeing things quite the way you are, take it easy and be a little forgiving, because that dress is fucking white. But a lot of people think it's blue. I don't know. Or it's all just Nathan Fielder. I think I'm tripping over my words. The point's communicated clearly, and I hope to God that these monologues get better, and I don't say, you get the point, and, well, anyway, the monologue's over now. I hope I don't say that, but I am. Things are hard sometimes. Okay, without further ado, an interview with my best friend on planet Earth, a man who knows me inside and out, though, yeah, inside and out. We'll leave it at that. Grayson knows me very intimately inside and out. We talk about his wonderful trip to Kazakhstan. I forget where else he said. It's been a while since I listened to this. We talk about our business model and our friendship as a whole. And I think this is the best podcast I've recorded yet. I hope you think so too. Without further ado, the man in the slippers, slipper Jesus, flip flop, hobo, the crowd pleaser, Mr. Grayson Marsh. Yeah, Grayson. Woo! And action. Grayson, how the hell are you, Grayson?
I'm good. It's always good to be in the presence of Mr. Hyatt.
Stop buttering me up. Stop buttering me up for the fans, the Lagoonies. Okay, so maybe the first place that we should start is you not too long ago spent a good deal of time in Asia.
Yes. Yeah, the the middle region of that particular continent is interesting. Good time. What do you want to
Where? How about you start with like where, and then you get to I don't know. After you tell us where, how about you tell us us? I don't know what to do. I don't know like to what's it called. I don't know if I should address an audience or anything yet. I haven't gotten the feel. I feel like I'm doing like bad AM radio when I say us.
There's nothing wrong.
Why don't you tell the listeners here where you were and I don't know, like what you ate and how it was to not be able to really speak Russian.
I was in Kyrgyzstan, and then I spent actually most of my time in Kazakhstan, and then I was in the UAE for 10 days, and then
what's the UAE?
United Arab Emirates, like Dubai,
okay,
Abu Dhabi. I was emailing some people, and on the site I found on the internet, kind of, I think it was called Eurohockey.com, and I found an email, and kind of I sent one not really expecting anything in return, and then next thing I knew I was flying over there. And
I know the first time we talked about it was like June,
mm-hmm.
and you left in October.
Uh-huh.
So like I don't know, like what was the process between sending the email and the next thing you know being on a flight?
Well, to begin with, they would respond in the beginning fairly quickly when I sent an email, and then the more we talked, I think the more sparse their responses came, and I actually kind of got nervous at times because I didn't know if it was going to fall through. But yeah, they basically just needed some information from me, and then I needed details from them. I kind of I made it seem like I knew what was happening when I talked to my parents about these things, but really all I knew that was going to happen is that I was going to arrive at the airport, and I was going to meet somebody at the airport who I would then be living with, and that's precisely what happened at that point.
So when you stepped off the airplane, how big was the airplane? Paint a picture for us.
No, it was like it was a typical commercial flight. The thing that was different about it was, I mean, as soon as you step off, you understand that you aren't in Kansas anymore, as people tend to say. I mean, we were greeted by armed guards on either side of the flight stairs when they you walk down from the plane, and the airport was really small, surrounded by mountains, and I collected my luggage and I went out into the main, I call it a lobby, I think is what, I don't know if that's what it actually is, but where all the people stay, and saw the person that I was ultimately going to be spending the next few weeks with until I was out of that country.
And forgive me for maybe being a bit shallow, but what'd this guy look like? It's a different world.
No, he actually...
Did he have a big, thick black mustache and
No, he
reek of sardines?
He was about my height. He had a deep voice. He...
Did you, like, raise your hand and make a circular motion, and then he did the same?
No, yeah, because I had actually seen his picture before on the rink website, because he teaches to little kids, and they had his picture, and then he had my name printed on like a sheet that he was holding out. So we saw each other and said our hellos, and he then drove. He had come the day before, and the flights arrive at that airport typically at a very early hour. He had to get up at 4 to come pick me up.
And what would that have been here?
4. I think it would have been 2 in the afternoon. 2, yeah, I think so.
Damn,
pretty sure.
Okay, so like we've talked a couple of times about this. Really not in any of the detail that I would have thought. I think I was maybe saving a lot of my questions for when we do strap on the headphones and sit down in front of the mics.
Yeah.
But so you went to teach, right? I never even got clarification. I know you did a lot of playing.
I didn't really get very much clarification either. I just kind of brought my gear knowing that I would play, just not knowing how much. But I think it was 50-50. The majority of my time in Kyrgyzstan was spent teaching, and they had a local league there, which I played a game in, and then I would practice with them once a week, but it was not to the caliber that, say, somebody here that plays competitively would be used to. It was much slower, and it was kind of fun to just get on the ice and relax.
I know that you don't. You've told me that you don't speak the best Russian. So did they pay to put you out there, or did you pay?
They paid for the majority of the things. Paid for, and then I received like basically an allowance that let me eat, and then.
So they not only like paid for your trip, but they also paid you to be doing work.
Kind of. I basically paid for my ticket, and then I paid for my last couple of hotels in Abu Dhabi.
How much is a hotel in Abu Dhabi?
I think I spent a total of $800, which really isn't that bad considering the duration of the stay.
And how much did you receive?
I don't really remember.
No. Okay, so anyway, the question was, if they're paying you to do this and you don't really even speak Russian, how are you teaching Russian children hockey.
Hockey.
I've seen you play hockey. I
Yeah.
can't imagine that you are a very good teacher.
Well, we were. I was basically just showing them basic things, and then they would mimic, and they would get the gist. And then actually, some of the kids spoke English, so that made it all the easier on both of us. But it wasn't anything that strenuous or even professional. It was just, hey, do this, and then they would do it, and I just kind of watch.
Do you hear that? Did you hear it?
Yeah.
It was girls in the hallway. My mics are picking it up. How cool is that?
Is that what that was?
Yeah. That was through your headphones. That wasn't like... You heard that through your headphones. So I don't know. I've got this list of guests. I got like a hiccup coming. Oh, well, fight through it. So I've got this list of guests here. There it is. It's, potential guests. And it's all kinds of people. I think I counted like 40 potential 40 potential. I can't think of the word. This is a terrible time to be spacing on a word. Anyway, you're at the top of the list. We've always had a really easy time speaking. But I think most of the people on here aren't just like friends. They're somebody with something that's definitely interesting about them. They're not people that I can generally just talk to. I feel like I can do that with you, and you're one of the very few people on here that are just on here just because they're easy to talk to. But everybody's got their kind of like niche and what they know. And as times happened, and I think like maybe particularly in the last year, since Worcester maybe, you've come from like just being like a friend that I can talk to somebody who does have that niche, and that would be like, you're my model of travel. You've told me about so many different trips. What with the original plan for the summer was I don't even remember what the program was called.
Oh, the Workaway, yeah.
The Workaway, and then but I remember over the summer you telling me like about living in a boxcar in South Dakota.
Still a dream.
And I mean, different trips you're talking about. Is any of what you've told me secret? Should I not mention something?
No. I guess that it's just easy to talk to you about it because I know that I guess we're like-minded.
Yeah.
You would find it interesting as well.
Well, I mean, like your trip this spring and summer maybe.
Oh,
is that something that I have to like edit out now?
No.
Okay.
That's fine. I guess.
No, I know. I know that
Reasons-
you don't like telling people you're gonna do something and then maybe like later not having it fall through or not come around, and it's very unsure right now. Is that?
Well,
But I let you talk.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just gonna say, I guess that is one of the concerns. But my biggest bigger with the whole thing is that I don't know. I just feel weird telling people about those things because it seems like no. But who knows?
Yeah, until you manage to go to Kyrgyzstan and Abu Dhabi.
I don't. You can only get lucky.
You posted
so
a
many-
picture of what on Instagram with the Irani. Like,
oh, that was the embassy.
Ugh, God.
It-
Nobody's rolling their eyes at you anymore. You've proven yourself.
I don't know. You can only get lucky so many times, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, you're kind of this like, and I think man, I don't know if you like the stars lined up between your traveling obsession and our trip to Colorado, or if Colorado has nothing to do with it or all to do with it, but it's definitely something that I spend a lot of time thinking about now. And I feel like, and maybe this is another thing that, shut up, Jack. It's very hard to do things like traveling when you're broke and have obligations like school.
Yeah.
and like I've got to stay in school till I finish, or my student loans will kick in.
You should just hop trains.
I could hop trains. But I don't know. I feel like you're a lot more gung ho about that sort of thing.
I know where this is going. This is gonna kick back to that conversation.
It's gonna, that's what I figured.
Ultimately,
that wasn't where I was intending to take it.
No, it's fine if that's. It was an interesting conversation that we had because we were vouching for each other. We were arguing for each other in our current.
Well, like 2 nights ago, I had it was just like a quiet night here, and I was like wasting time at my desk. I think I was watching Elton John on like Soul Train from 1975 or something. And Max was sitting there maybe drawing, and he said that he got a Snapchat from you that said that you envy our lifestyle.
This is true.
I can see how it would be envious to somebody who like wouldn't have the luxury of like having a house or internet or something. But like, you're somebody who we envy for lots of reasons.
Well,
for your travels and your big brain, your big beard, and your bohemian lifestyle.
I'm flattered, but you when you walk through the door to your dorm and the dorm that you share with Max and the dorm that Max shares with you, it's hard not to notice that you guys. I can only say that if I went to college, I think I would want to live with either my brother. I mean, obviously, I would want to live with you guys.
I'd hate living with your brother.
He wouldn't do anything for you. But I think you guys have a cool setup. You go to class and experience the village and all the people.
I never go to the village.
No.
I guess that's a resource that I have. What am I doing? Like,
It's just,
I don't go there.
it's just you're immersed in a college experience, in a culture in itself, and it's nice that you'll have stories to share with descendants of the Hyatt family, and you'll be able to talk about how much fun you had living with your brother and in college.
We had fun, and we're gonna keep having fun. We've got we looked at that lease tonight. That's like gorgeous house, and I think the fun times are only getting started. But I think maybe I'm like shitting too much on normality. But everybody's got like, they got so drunk in college stories, and everybody's got like, we were so broken college stories, and like I stayed up all night studying for this test college stories. And not everybody has these, I was recording podcasts in my dorm stories. Like, that's something that
That's unique.
You
should be proud of that.
But I think lots of people have unique experiences where they were, I think maybe in TV I hear a lot about like, I was the editor for the school paper, or like I don't know, swim team or something. People have their things. This is looking like it will be my thing. But I think all of those stories, and as they are stories, but I don't think they couldn't come up against there was armed security on both sides when I got off the plane.
No.
I met some guy who drove me in this like disheveled orange van on a dirt road off where I don't know where you were.
I think the importance of your experience is how happy you were during, and I'm willing to bet that you're often very happy with yourself. I mean, you should be very proud of yourself, and Max as well, with the way that you're living. I mean, you're running a podcast out of your dorm, and you're gonna
producing.
You're you're practicing. It's good. You're gonna have these archived probably for the remainder of your life if you're able to do so, and it's gonna be a really cool thing to look back on.
Yeah, I
You're gonna be
suppose.
really proud of the idea that you had. I remember I always, even in grade school, recognizing about you the fact that you always kind of
Bullshit. You didn't know me in elementary.
no, yeah, because I remember. Let me tell you about. There's a conversation we had, because remember you did summer school after first grade, didn't you?
At Shamrock.
Yeah, and
Damn it, dude.
That's the year. that's that's the year that, what was it? The guy that he was on SNL and he did The Master of Disguise.
Dana Carvey.
Yeah. That came out, and I remember we were like washing our hands from bathroom break, and you were talking to me about that movie because you saw it, and I was like, what was it like? And you were like, oh, it was really good. It was just really short, and that sort of like, just the way you like. I wish I had a way with words. The way
You do.
the way that you.
It's tough when there's like the pressure of like I'm
on
on the air and this is dead air. It's really tough. I hate.
I don't know.
It's my least favorite part so far.
The way you expressed yourself was, you were beyond your years, I think, and you still might. I think you still are beyond your years, and I think it's just in the Hyatt genes.
You're just saying that because he can listen.
I
He's within earshot.
No. Oh, we could just spend this whole time gushing about each other.
Yeah,
I
we
think.
could. I think. What do you think? Is that like a fatal flaw?
No, it's a strength.
Is it? Yeah.
I think.
I sure do hear enough about it. I mean, even from like Max when we came in and he said that we could just get married and live nothing romantic, just
Live civil union in Oregon.
So I don't know. Is this okay? Do you want to talk about the business, or do you want to keep that on the hush hush on the internet?
Oh, well, I'll follow your lead.
Well, I don't know what you want to
anything's
make
good.
public.
Anything's good with me. I don't have a preference.
I don't mean to make that sound like crazy secretive to any Lagoonies out there. It's not like this is two kids like on the swings talking about how they're gonna like
dreams.
Yeah, they're just talking about dreams. And let me explain to you the picture that I've painted in my head that's got me like daydreaming. I'm here at this college getting this education, going to class. I'm spending the whole time daydreaming about living in a like log cabin apartment with you. So the plan would be like, and let me draw it out for you, and anybody listening can like suck it. So land plots usually come in big squares. So this will be a ginormous square, and then the road will come off somewhere. It's not really important where the road comes off, and then it'll open up into like a parking lot, very small.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll like, I don't know, end, or maybe wrap around to like the other end of the property or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have this cabin here, and that'll be our store. And there will be parking on the like side maybe, and then the front like a gas station might have. And then maybe some stuff in the back with like a dumpster or like a chair for your smoke breaks or something. But then on the inside, maybe I drew this the wrong way. Maybe it needs to be perpendicular. But the way I see it is it's split down the middle with an area in the middle. Man, I don't know. Like an office here maybe. An office on the edge. Very small. Maybe glass pane that we would share.
Mm-hmm.
And then because I'm selfish, I always saw like my own candle
station.
Not even a station, like my own, I don't want to say factory, but yeah, my own space to make candles.
People could watch you do it. That's the way I
maybe.
see it. Yeah.
Freezers and shelves like crazy amounts of shelving and a big stove. I don't know how much space you'd need for food prep. I would imagine that would be important. But then that ends. There's an end of that room, and that's to the listeners. God, this is gonna be terrible. I shouldn't be drawing this up. This is like off air. Anyway, that wall ends, and it doesn't go. It cuts the building in half, but it doesn't go all the way across. There'll be like cowboy doors in between, like a hallway separating.
Yeah.
And then one half will be like Candles Are Us or something, and then the other's Happy Trails.
And then there'll be soap somewhere.
Soap will be on the candle side, even though that'll be Grayson's bag, or they'll both be our bag by then. I don't know. The candles are just gonna be like, I don't know. I'll be making candles and selling them, and then that'll be it. And I'll like maybe make labels, and hopefully, I don't know. You pitch Happy Trails. That's the moneymaker.
Yeah. No. Happy Trails, in an ideal world, is a store run by me and Jack and I, and he makes candles, and I have a Happy Trail station where you make your own trail mix.
Make your own stomach hair.
Make your own stomach hair. and you can just get all your camping needs at Happy Trails, and possibly a bar of soap. There's a sorry,
well, you told me the way you pitched it to me was like an orange leaf for trail mix.
Yeah.
So you'd go up and you'd maybe like, I don't know, like the Raisin Bran scoop in a barrel full of like cashews or almonds.
Yeah.
And then maybe like, drawers of M&Ms or dried fruits or whatever else you put in trail mix.
Yeah. Chocolate.
Yeah.
Goodies. Yeah, you could. There are bags that you could choose from that are possibly pre-made, or you could just start from scratch and make it all your own. And they'd have clever names.
The way, yeah, of course, it's a given. The way that I've always seen it was, out back there'd be picnic tables and a fire pit, or two.
That's a good idea.
And like a little. The way I always saw it was a little puppy running around. Not a puppy, a dog. Like a lab.
Shepherd.
A smart dog. And then somewhere on the property, like maybe off to the side, there's a pond. And there's hella trees. That's not a tree. I didn't draw a tree. And then over here, maybe in the corner, the opposite corner, or maybe in the middle of the ginormous property. Hopefully this will be, out of sight from the building, because it'll be forested, will be either like a duplex or side by side tiny little places for us to live together. And then this dog will run around wherever, and we'll take like our dumpy, I don't know, pickup or whatever to the store every morning. And then that'll be out in Wyoming or Colorado or
Oregon, yeah,
NorCal.
Keep this, because
Jefferson.
this will be good to prove the law of attraction in the coming years.
The law of attraction to those of my Lagoonies who aren't familiar, explain what you're talking about.
The law of attraction, basically, if you want something badly enough, and you really convince yourself that you want it, you will do the little things to make whatever you want to come true, and it's what makes dreams happen. It's what makes dreams come true.
Okay, I've got a problem with that. So this is a big thing. This is like, I mean, this is our career, our living space, and like a big geographical change for us. So I don't think the little things.
Little things, yeah, you're right. But
maybe that's
little things and big things.
Maybe that's easy for somebody who's in the traveling and like saving up money in between travels time.
Yeah.
I'm studying to be like a television writer or editor or something. Putting myself in like so much debt to do it. It makes me so nervous thinking about this. what I keep telling myself to calm myself down is like, well, okay, so what I realized the other day that this is not a sustainable business model. This is a terrible idea for a business, for a living. This can't be our only job.
Right.
And
Not in the beginning.
right. So then that gave new life to my, okay, well, I can keep earning this TCOM degree and then make money that way. I could, again, this is in an ideal world, but like maybe work from home, do editing stuff from home, or way less realistically, this is way less realistic, make a bunch of money from that, and then sometime later down the road, turn that into my career. And then I was thinking, maybe I should change to a business major so I could learn how to make candles. The two are related, right? But I don't know. I'd hate going to business school, and I think TCOM's what I want to do to some degree. I think this might be what I want to do more than TV, but
You're wearing the outfit for it right now.
I know. Yeah, it's the little things. It's the law of attraction. What I was saying was, and this goes for you too, like you can get so much business. You can get any kind of education online for free right now. It's so stupid easy to get. Just you won't get credit for it, but you don't need credit if you're just doing it to like know how to manage your own trail mix store.
You're exactly right. You're very, very right.
I mean, you could start. I know Yale does free online classes for no money and no credit, but you could start getting a Yale
degree
business education now and have it done by 10 years from now.
Yeah,
right in time to start this place up.
It's true, and it's really cool with smartphones and iPads and computers, the internet. One could almost say, I mean, no one should ever say, "Oh, I don't know." That's who knows, because somebody does know, and somebody has put information for what you're trying to find out on the internet, and you could teach yourself. There's a saying, I don't know exactly how it goes, but basically it says a formal education can get you this, but self-education can get you more.
Dude,
fortune.
My father's personal hero, Frank Zappa, had a quote, and I'm paraphrasing. Well, I don't know that I'm paraphrasing. This might be a direct quote because it's pretty simple, but he said, if you want to get laid, go to college. If you want an education, go to the library.
Mm-hmm.
The information's out there.
It's true.
I'm here for I don't know why I'm here. I'm here for security, I guess.
You're here because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
it is the right thing to do. You're doing the right thing. Don't ever question it.
Anyway,
don't ever question it.
The other thing that I'd like to add here is maybe like behind one of the apartments, a workstation for. It's just something I'm obsessed with now is the idea of woodworking. I'd love to be able to get into like making stuff with my hands. I think that's why the candles and the soap sound appealing though, is because it's semi-practical things that soap's practical. Candles can be, I guess, but that you would you'd make yourself and then you could have or give. I feel like giving. I feel like the fun is in making it and being proud of what you've made. And like I love right now, I get a real kick out of making these candles, and seeing them when they're done. But I've got no use for them, so I just give them all away. And I'd like to think that's what I do when I make like, I don't know. Hey Max, when I make like little tiny wooden boxes. Anyway, stools or whatever it will be. I don't know. Max I'd like to think of as my like, I don't know, red band here, because he shares this room with me. We live in a room, So he's always going to be listening to me record these things. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess one of the things about this, I think it sounds like we're in unison. We're very in agreement about this. I don't think, and I hate, dude, you came to me with the idea of happy trails, and I was like, yeah, let's add candles. It just doesn't work. They don't go together.
Oh, of course
anything.
they could.
They could, yeah.
They could for sure. I need to show you a couple of websites. We don't have to talk. We can talk about them whenever, but I think you'd really like them because they essentially have it's everything we would need for this in one website.
Like what? Like barrels,
supply,
office desks,
supplies. Well, it's like candle, soap. It's literally candle, soap, and trail mix. Supplies.
What?
I'm serious.
Okay. We might have more success if we make this like sort of look like a shop at like a strip mall or like a shopping center instead of like, hey, we're a store that makes candles and food.
Well, I don't know.
And soap.
It's true, but like Stucky Farms, that has a charm to it, and it's a little bit of everything. It's like a general store.
Yeah.
General stores are cool.
General stores are
like baller. Yeah, they are.
Got porches.
Oh, that would be like Cracker Barrel. The rocking chairs on the porch.
Except we'll make the rocking chairs.
Yes, in the workshop and sell them for $100.
Oh, God, we do this all the time, and I really...
We're dreamers.
Yeah, I want this to actually happen and not pretend to happen. I don't want the extent of the reality of this plan to be what we're looking at on paper right now.
This is going to take years, and that's okay. But we've got things going on now.
This, I think, as a goal, maybe I hate to like elaborate on your idea. We'd take out and we'd make our own happy trail, but we'd have to like.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We'd have that would be something that we like added later. And I don't know, make.
They could camp. Could they? Are we adding a
couple of trails? I don't know if we could. That seems like some licensing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be responsible.
They just walk on the trails.
Yeah.
They're called happy trails.
Happy Trail 1, Happy Trail 2, Happy Trail me, Happy Trail you. They got pictures of us on the signs. Pictures of our bellies. Happy Trails.
Open house pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when our video productions friends heard about our adventures in like the trail mix business, I mean they're gonna be all thrown out. Like I told Alotza that you were coming over tonight, and he goes, "You guys gonna make a bunch of videos?" So when they hear that we're living together in Montana making candles,
we'll probably still make a bunch of videos.
Oh yeah, I'd hope so.
Shoot a documentary.
I'd hope so. In our what free time? The free time that we spend making candles or chairs and documentaries.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's kind of maybe why I like TCOM too, though. I don't have to I don't physically work with stuff, but you work on something. I don't know. It feels good to like spend a bunch of time on something and then have everything be so smooth and fluid. And I guess like you could get that from being an accountant or whatever. And I don't know, balancing a budget, but like it's cool to have a product when you're finished with your hard work. And I like doing it relatively independently too. I don't know. It's when you're recording things and forcing yourself to talk on like dead air. I feel like I will continue to learn about myself just from talking on the podcast.
You're doing a good job.
Thanks.
You are. I feel like you've been mentally preparing for this for years too, which is nice. It's finally good. You know what's
funny is I haven't. For a long time I was like, I like podcasts, but I would never do one. And it wasn't until maybe a little over a year ago when I started kicking around the idea. I'd be having these like talks or thoughts. I think a lot of the motivation was monologue, and I would keep them for myself. Or like if I was to record one with you, I would send it to you, or like burn you a DVD and you'd have it. And then people, I don't know, just like friends who I'd talked to about it would push for posting them on iTunes. Like, why not? And I was like, I guess I don't know. Kind of wanted the privacy, but fuck that.
Yeah, no reason not to.
this watch that I just got that I love. Like, it's got a green face and the brown leather band here.
It's just like a tree.
It's
Like
just
timber.
yeah,
Pine.
man. We'd have some like fucking dirt road here. It's not only a career, you know. It's more than a career.
It's a lifestyle, and it's everything.
Here's an idea.
Could
How
be
about like
everything.
on the side of the house would be the vegetable garden,
If you're living there, why not?
right?
Just make your own food.
That's another that's another thing. You feel good when you work really hard
And produce what?
and you produce a food. Yeah,
That's what
I don't mean
causes-
like a turnip, but like
right.
a turnip sauce or something. I don't know.
That yeah. It isn't one of the other podcasts that you listen to. I don't know which one it was. It might have been Joe Rogan, but Duncan was talking about what causes depression for him is just not doing anything. He said he feels a lot better when he gets up and even does menial work around the house.
Yeah,
Makes him feel a lot better.
he had a lot of help yourself to another water if you run out. My water's your water. He spent a lot of time depressed. I think right about the time that I got into the podcasts was as he was working himself out of it. I think one of the things that he talked about that stuck with me maybe more than anything was he would run. He'd go on jogs, and it because like you get the endorphin drive all the day, and like your body would literally feel good. And it wasn't that he was in better shape, and like that wasn't what was making him feel good, or those were things that helped. But what really made him feel good was that he was doing it, and that he wasn't doing nothing, and that his body didn't want to. He didn't like want to be running, but if he could make himself get up and do it, he felt proud of himself. And I think I'm doing that right now with like this dieting thing. We're not Max and I aren't dieting, but we're like just trying our best to eat well. And so I'm eating like 2 salads a day right now.
It makes you feel a lot better, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, you physically feel better, but it feels good to be like, yeah, I just passed on pizza for a salad. Salads aren't bad, but you feel good about yourself having it.
Yeah, because you
made the choice.
Yeah, you know that you can say no to pizza, which is a very hard thing to do, I think. Wouldn't you say? Pizza's really good. But I know I know you're saying apples and peanut butter is probably up there with one of the best snacks, and I'm with you guys. I think the better you eat and the more active you are, I guess the happier you're capable of being on a daily basis, probably.
Happy trails.
Happy trails.
That's going to be the name of the episode.
This one?
Happy trails. Do you hear? No, I thought I heard echoing. Might be. What else do we have here? Okay, so talk about maybe in this perfect world where we get to own this log shack of good smells and good nuts. If you could drop this, we dropped the property. We dropped the building on the property. But if you could punch that property onto any landscape, where would you put? I don't. We're not going to Turkey for this, Grayson. Where would you want to put it? Like, having not done any research about like trail mix
Soil.
consumption, but like,
I don't know. My heart belongs in Wyoming, but after hearing you talk about Oregon and watching that video, and you're right, there is a coast, there is quite a nice culture, and Wyoming probably doesn't have enough people for something.
that's true. Yeah,
like
for an already weak
400,000.
business model.
Yeah. Darn. Well, then I would say either Oregon or Colorado. You'd get a lot of customers, I think, in Colorado just being hungry.
Yeah, that's what Colorado people eat. I think from our trip out in Colorado, so what I like to say is we were backpacking in a car, because on a backpack trip you walk up trails that have been carved out by other hikers, living off all you can have in your backpack. And what we did was that same kind of concept. We lived off what we could fit in our car, so we had meals, we had tents. I guess backpackers have tents. We had meals and like very minimal firewood that we scavenged all of our firewood. We didn't buy anything. Coolers. We listened to a lot of music and podcasts. But yeah, I don't know. We stayed on roads instead of trails because that's what was accessible, and then we'd pull off and camp on the sides of the roads, which doesn't sound glamorous at all. But in Colorado,
the way it looks,
it's if you go off the tiny little one-lane roads off the edge of a mountain, like pulling off the edge of the mountain is incredible. Yeah. So we kept it really like as remote as we could, and the towns that we visited, and this is, from what it sounds like, we want to keep this pretty remote. The towns aren't much bigger than, I don't know, like
downtown Westfield.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of them seem like.
Yeah,
it's kind of out like backgrounded by mountains.
Well, that's because it's all carved out. Yeah. So, but it's like there's you can see in Indy, you can see as far as something obstructs your vision, like a Kroger.
Yeah.
Or forever. Yeah. And in Colorado, you can see as far as there's a mountain.
Yeah.
And so when you're up on, like, pressed up against the edge of a mountain and you cut out a little crested butte, you can see all the area around the town. You can see how small it is. There's not much of a market, I don't think, because if we're doing what we want, it'd be really small.
Yeah.
And I think, knowing nothing about Oregon, if you can stick it like maybe outside of town, people will still be driving from town to town, I think.
Yeah.
People will still be taking trips to the park, or I don't know what Oregon is, but I feel like you get more
cross traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I do agree. I was trying to think of the town that you were telling me about, the Crested Butte.
Yeah.
That's where they filmed was it Bud Light or Budweiser commercials?
Yeah, we looked that up.
Yeah.
There's a movie, I think it was like Alien or something, that had an opening scene filmed there.
Oh, really?
Crested Butte is, it seemed, there's a picture on Google there's a picture on my computer that I took. It looks like a computer graphic of a blueprint of a town. It's so clean and perfect and colorful and tiny and, like, man, I don't remember if we saw anybody, like, carrying like couches for their neighbor down the street or like kids playing soccer, but that's how I remember it. Like people like shooting a basketball that's propped up against, like a basketball hoop that's propped up against the edge of a building, and like it just seemed very
charming.
Yeah, that's the perfect word. Charming.
The architecture, I only through pictures, the architecture seemed very Western, like wild Western.
That's how a lot of these places
so
were.
Cool.
I remember seeing lots of there was a McDonald's that stood out. Lots of the gas stations were like this, where you know how McDonald's look in Indy, and you've been to Florida. You know that they've got like that different hurricane, like the pink, like plaster walls in Florida. In Colorado, they had like wood on the outside of the building. Like framing the building. It's amazing how like subtly different even the architecture is out there. That's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a side thought about these small towns and why I think Colorado would be less than perfect. Although I think it'd be almost as close to perfect as we're gonna get. I think the benefit of Oregon is they seem like the other places too, they seem like they would be very pro small business.
Oregon's probably your best bet there, though.
Yeah, but geographically, they've got the absurdly thick woods.
Trees.
They've got, they've got, their forests are so thick that there's Bigfoot there, and then they've got that culture. out there of like-minded fellows and their ladies. They've got mountains. So this is all similar to Colorado, maybe, but then they've got that X factor in the coast,
Pretty cool people.
and they're
Portlandia.
I would think that they're Seahawks fans, maybe. Actually, they probably hate Seattle. I know in Portlandia, it's like their rival town.
Really?
Yeah,
I wonder who they'd like then.
I don't think San Francisco would be right either,
No.
and definitely not Oakland because
What
they're
about Denver.
maybe. But then we're back to Colorado.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say that they'd be cheering for the team that's in the back-to-back Super Bowls, but they probably aren't. And anyway, we're back to Colorado now.
Let's talk about Deflategate.
Deflategate. I don't know much about it.
I'm just kidding. It's what they've been talking about on ESPN for the
I know what it
past.
is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Just.
It seems. Did you see what Dwayne Allen tweeted about it?
Oh wait, is he
Sorry, we had a message from the producer of your Max. Did you see what Dwayne Allen said about Deflategate? Okay, so Dwayne Allen's the Colts tight end,
Yeah.
or one of the two.
Uh-huh.
He tweeted something like he tweeted at somebody who was reporting at like Fox Sports or something. So this is a non-story. They would have beat us if they were playing with soap for balls.
Oh yeah, they did say something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not. I disagree. I think you shouldn't cheat. One of my professors was talking about it the other day. He was relating Deflategate to we were talking about like ethics and business and or ethics and media law, and Immanuel Kant's what do you call it? Categorical imperative states that do as shit something like imagine that what you do will become universal code and act accordingly. So he was talking about how you shouldn't cheat because cheating's bad, and it doesn't matter if like you stomped the Colts.
You still
Fucking
just don't do it.
yeah, it's still dishonest. It's still dishonest play. Yeah, they're the better team. They didn't need to cheat. They deserve to be in the Super Bowl. But it doesn't make them like not shitty or not punishable. It's definitely a story.
I forget which quarterback it was, but basically they came to the aid of the Patriots and said, "Look, everybody does that, and they shouldn't have to defend themselves. Everybody tinkers with the footballs."
I think that was Aaron Rodgers that said that.
Was it really?
I think so. Yeah. I know Brad Johnson, the quarterback for the Super Bowl winning Buccaneers in 2002, said that he paid for deflated balls in the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah. It's weird that how you can say that like all these years later and like, oh, okay. I don't know. That's bad and I'm not going to like you as much. But nobody's going to talk about it. And they're still unquestionably the Super Bowl champs from that year.
Yeah.
Now the Patriots people, because it's happening now, they'll not forget it. They'll put an asterisk next to their name. I mean, Colts fans will, and anti-Patriots fans will forever.
Anti-Patriots fans or anybody who isn't a
Patriots fan.
Patriots.
Yeah. I don't know. I started coming around to the Patriots a little bit when Manning left town. Brady's. I don't think Brady's hateable. I liked Wes Welker, but he left, and Gronk does my fantasy team well, year in and year out. Belichick's turning out to be like a dirty fucking cheater, though. I couldn't look past cheating once.
He pushes the envelope.
And then he had Josh McDaniels, who was an assistant for him, head coach in Denver, did the same thing. He videotaped the San Francisco walkthrough, and like ultimately got fired for it.
How do you do that and get away with it?
You don't, apparently.
Oh yeah, you got a point.
You don't get away with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do get away with it sometimes. I wonder if Bill Belichick's like a really good coach, but a really bad cheater. I wonder if this is stuff that everybody's doing, and he just keeps getting caught because he's putting all his time and effort into like figuring out that you can put offensive linemen out as wide receivers if they don't move. I don't know. I guess maybe this would have been a better. Maybe you threw everything off by bringing up Deflategate. We should have talked about coolworks.com when we were talking about places to put this perfect business.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, you don't have anything to apologize for. So, tell me and the Lagoonies about coolworks.com.
Coolworks.com is a website in which, well, if you're looking for a cool job, typically I think they're seasonal or just jobs that you work. Yeah, seasonal. If you want to work on a ranch or a farm or a garden or
National Park, that's what drew my attention.
And for some reason, retail.
Yeah, retail and restaurant and resort.
Yeah, you can go to coolworks.com and you can find a job in the beautiful mountains of Wyoming or Colorado. What name some
Alaska.
of Alaska.
Death Valley.
Absolutely.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I didn't see many out east. Mm-hmm. There was Moosehead Ranch, which is located in Wyoming and Florida.
Yeah.
I would think Oklahoma. Lots of Oklahoma ranches.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Gosh,
I wonder Death Valley.
Death Valley. We'll have to make lists and compare. Man, to spend a summer, like, I wonder what living condition. You know what's cool about this? How'd you discover this?
I was just poking around the internet.
I think we could legitimately contact somebody who did this thing that nobody's ever heard of, and find out like how he was compensated and what his living conditions were. And I mean, we know that Jake would do it again.
Well, I think we know for a fact now that this is how Jake did that.
Yeah. I don't know. What kind of work would you want to do most?
Anything. I think to base it off of the work that you would be doing would be a mistake. I think, where would you want to go? That's maybe.
Man, that's a good question.
This is most interesting.
The places that I've mentioned to drop the business, or Alaska.
Right. Well, if you were happy enough to be in those places, would you be okay with doing anything, you think?
I don't know. I mean, I'd be happy, but I think there would
come a point.
There was an episode of The Simpsons where like it's like season 1, and Bart got sent to, it was called the Crepes of Wrath, and he got sent to some like winery in France, and it was like advertised as some winery that you would see on a bottle, but it was some shack, and the dude ended up like trying to antifreeze poison him.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't be happy with that.
It'd be a good experience.
Trying to be poisoned with antifreeze in the shack. So the work would be important. I think on paper it would all be the same. Mm-hmm. Just about. I think I might prefer like cleaning trails to
digging fences.
Digging fences or cleaning up after horses. But actually on a ranch I would think that you don't clean up after them.
Yeah, probably not. Probably becomes the earth.
Yeah.
Fairly quickly.
I think just looking at the titles of ranch versus park, I'd prefer park. Recently I've thought about maybe wanting to do something with a park as a job. But yeah, I don't know.
The only thing that keeps me coming back to ranch is that a lot of them have like rodeos on site.
What's so good about a rodeo?
Rodeos are... Have I told you about my dream to be a rodeo clown? Have I ever brought that up?
No. Never.
No. It's out.
You want to tell me about it?
It's out in the...
What a podcast right now, dude.
I just think I found a school, and they have weekend classes in different cities. The closest one to Indiana is probably in Oklahoma. But
well, why though?
Why what?
Why would you want to? Why does that sound appealing to you? Because it doesn't sound the least a bit appealing to me. And usually we're pretty on the same chord about this stuff. But
well, I don't know. I just think it would be exciting to be in a ring with an angry bull and protect somebody from an angry bull. I don't know. It seems like a fun culture. It's like the wild wild west. It would take you all over the country and pay you at least $100 a show. I mean, that $100 is useless if you break a leg or any other bone in your body, but
It seems like it would be the thrill.
yeah, I don't know if anybody would do it for the money.
Yeah. I don't know. I know James, my friend. I've got this. I love to call him a friend. I don't know if I should. But I work. This is not for you. This is for the people at home listening that wouldn't know James. But I know this guy who I worked with him, waiting tables at Jersey's. He just travels from state park to state park, working on the trails, cleaning up, doing whatever they do. I know every time I talk to him about it, he says cleaning trails, so I'm going to spend a lot of time doing that. But I know what I do know is he spent some time. Where did he leave us for first? I know he spent time in New Mexico, Alaska, New Hampshire. He's in New Hampshire now. There's one more. He did the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, cool.
So he started in like Virginia, I think, and went up for like 4 months. He hiked, I think, all the way up to Vermont, and then spent time at a state park in Vermont. And more recently, he went to challenge my geography. Chile.
Oh, really?
Vermont. Where's Machu Picchu? He hiked Machu Picchu, but that was in his own time. That wasn't like as a job.
Maybe that's Peru. I don't know.
Peru. Yeah, I think it's Peru. Yeah. Anyway, it seemed like the life, man. And that seemed like it seemed like what he might do is coolworks.com.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder what cleaning trails entails. No rhyme intended. But I think that I don't know. What do you think that is exactly?
I don't know. I think there'd be a fair amount of like literal picking up trash.
Yeah.
I wonder if there would be like gardening work.
They
They probably wouldn't have to maintain a whole lot of forest outside of like what you see on the trail. They probably have to keep that prettier than most places, or like, I don't know, if a tree falls in the woods, James has to go clean it up. I don't know. It's a good question.
He's probably living the life right now, though. For what he likes, especially.
Right.
He's probably very happy.
That's what I think about you. That's exactly for what he likes. He's probably very happy. Except I know that you're at constant internal crisis mode. But so am I.
You guys have it made.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
We might.
If only we could switch bodies for just one day. Say it. And then I'll edit it over. I won't. It's not going to happen. Okay. Well, I think maybe the last thing that we should touch on, and this has been fun, you have written down here in case the conversation lulls, you might want to talk about the origins of friendship. Or I don't know if you meant our friendship specifically.
Yeah. No, yeah. Ours, because I think it's probably a good model friendship.
Honestly, this would have been like a killer thing to start with. Our background. We could close on our background.
Yeah. Well, how did it happen for you? Well, when did?
I'm not sure. I know that.
Was it Home Place? Was that
Home Place?
Picked
Your band?
The band. Is that how you?
No. Well, okay. So if we're going like all the way back, it was when I had to help Danny assemble Battle of the Bands for Relay for the Life, and we did a lot of talking to Cooper, and as you mentioned, we knew you from elementary school. Not well, but like I remember always seeing like Cooper's art. I remember specifically, I think Max and I were back there after hours once looking at the drawings, like comics that Cooper had, like on the bulletin boards outside Mrs. Coverdale's classroom, and thinking about like talking about how good he was. Honestly, I don't have any memories of you. I've always known you and known who you are, and I didn't know much more about Cooper. Yeah, I guess you were always kind of in the background. I remember in 8th grade in health complimenting your Nirvana t-shirt. And then
whilst talking to Rachel Selduty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I interrupted.
That was then. Damn, you threw me all off.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so then the next year was Battle of the Band. I remember Tyler showed up. Tyler and his band showed up in addition to the other bands that were there. I think it was oh man, I can't remember the other kid's name.
Andrew
I think it was like Chase or Case or something. He had Cass
yeah.
Campbell. That's who it was. And Cooper shows up and goes, "These people know this is a cancer benefit, right?" Because they were all like dressed up and then their hair did and like all their. Tyler's probably wearing makeup and his. You guys just showed up and played like the Sweater song, and you guys were totally cool. And I think the next year, I paired us up in mass media because Steve and Nick and I were all kind of friends, and I knew I was friends with you, and we all sat together, but I knew that they would have an easier time getting along. So I kind of I figured we'd do most of the stuff and force them anyway, but like, I don't know. And I don't remember anything from that. I don't remember a project. I know that I did like this TikTok thing, but that was at home.
That
and
took 3 hours, didn't it?
I don't remember. It took a long time, but I just put your name on it. I don't remember doing anything with you. And then we didn't get put together. We weren't in the same mass media class the following trimester. And then even in video production the next year, we had like pretty minimal interaction. We weren't strangers by any means, but
it's 3rd trimester.
The second half of our second year of classes together.
That's when it really...
Yeah. I remember all of my friends like left town for spring break. Even though I wasn't like hanging out with them that much, I wouldn't be in school, so I would need to see somebody. And I remember like planning on seeing you. I don't know if we talked about it. Well, okay, no. There was the time where I called you when I was at the spot.
About tanning.
Were we tanning?
I'm pretty sure.
I remember we were laying on the car.
Is it when you picked me up?
Yeah, I picked you up. I was listening to probably like, hey, I'm like across the street from your house and listening to this Graham Hancock guy on this Joe Rogan podcast. It's super interesting. I don't know if you want to do it. And you're like, okay. And so then I drove around for forever looking for your house and found it because you were sitting there. And then we hung out for a little bit. And I was like, I'm going to hang out with him over spring break. And then so I got off work one night. I don't remember if the intention from the beginning was to see you that day or like I got off work and it was beautiful outside. And I called you and said, hey, you want to go camping? And you're like, what? And I was like, you want to go camping tonight? Like at that undeveloped neighborhood across the street from your house. For those of you listening who don't know, this is the spot. That's what I call it. And it was off of a relatively busy road. It was something that had been there for years that like they started developing and then just stopped. And it was a small road and it just was a loop. It was a big circle with a pond in the middle. And there was a nice like hill on one side of the pond. And if you parked your car behind it, you really couldn't see it from the road. And I would go out there and listen to that's where my love for podcasts started. Yeah. I would go drive out there and I would just listen to them for hours. Yeah, with you, I guess. Anyway, so we drove our car out there. You tell your story. This is I've dominated the last half an hour of recording. You tell your side. I'll chime in when
you were doing it justice for sure.
What were your thoughts when I called you? It was like, hey, like
I was gonna touch on that actually because I don't know if it's weird, but I was actually kind of nervous. because I hadn't had like I hadn't like started a friendship since. It's kind of ironic. My last friend that I had to create because it wasn't given to me through geography and where I lived was Levi Hyatt
Oh,
in
really?
elementary school. So it had been
Oh, that's weird.
yeah, it had been a few years. So I didn't remember how the whole thing worked. So
Well, truth be told, I didn't really ever learn. I mean, there were like, it came naturally, but I didn't. Once I got older, friends were harder to make.
yeah.
And yeah, there was kind of a vacant spot alongside Danny for
Yeah.
who could battle for my time.
It's weird how that works.
I wonder if you replaced her.
We
No, I'm kidding. So yeah, I called him. I called him up, and I remember I went home and ate dinner. I don't know if I told you, "Hold on, I have to eat," or you said like, "Hang on, I'm gonna." Okay, you probably went like, "Okay, I have to get a shower and eat something, and I'll be right over." And like, you ate cereal or I don't know, a hot dog or something. But I remember, man, I don't remember. I think I picked you up, and you loaded the tent in. I probably already had firewood and a very small. No, I probably took you back to the house and then packed my stuff up with you. I think I already had lawn chairs in the car, fire stuff we probably put in the car, and then like packed one cooler.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went and started setting up, and then we needed rocks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We were gonna.
We looted from the creek. But
What we were gonna do was just build a fire in the street and set up a circle of rocks in the street so it wouldn't spread. And you knew where to get rocks.
the creek, yeah. And I don't. Did we put them in the trunk?
Yeah, I remember it was like, I don't think this was the first thing we did. I know we had to go back to my house for something, and then we had to go to Kroger, and then Kroger didn't have it, so we had to go to CVS, and then like, oh, we forgot something at Grayson, so like, I mean, it was like bug spray and like a lighter. It was very.
Wouldn't it?
I mean, if we lived, if this place was in the middle of our houses and our houses weren't 2 minutes apart,
it would have been SOL.
yeah, we would have been sleeping in the car or at your mom's. And I don't know. By the time we got, I think the rocks were actually the last stop.
Yeah.
But we set up the tent on like the flattest part of the grass, and then we pulled the car up and we turned the lights on or the brights on maybe, and we set up a camcorder. And I remember Sublime was playing. And the camcorder we recorded us. I think we were gonna time lapse it, but never did. I was building the fire and like taking off, setting the rocks out from the trunk, and grabbing like dead grass from that got collected on the curb from when they mowed the neighborhood, but didn't do anything with the grass, and starting the fire with like, I don't know, paper from a notebook in my backpack in the car, and man, I don't even remember. I really don't remember much about that night. I remember, man, I don't remember much outside of that. I remember we sat at the fire and talked for
a good bit.
Yeah, for much, like, way longer than I would have ever thought, and way longer than it seemed. I remember looking down and it being very late, like 2:30, and not having any idea.
Yeah.
I remember maybe talking. We saw like a blinking, like, I don't know, radio tower or something, and I know we talked about that. And I know we talked about a girl, but I don't remember anything else.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you don't really remember the details. I just remember we slept and we woke up because it started raining, didn't it?
Yeah.
It started raining and it was storming.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell. Who doesn't like check for that when they decide to?
It was a big storm cell. And oh yeah, I remember we had to like put the tent on top of the car and drive with it. It was like a sailboat.
Because I don't think we knew how to like break the tent down, or it was too wet and all of our stuff was still in there. We didn't get our stuff wet and us wet. And Grayson's mom lived basically across the street. So we just took the tent out of the ground and took the windows down and put the tent on top of the car. And it was like 6:30 or 7 in the morning on a weekday. So there was no traffic on this tiny road, and we just drove down with the tent on top of the car.
We took it to my dad's. Remember, because we could just lift open his garage, and he didn't park in there anyway, and we just threw the tent inside, didn't we?
I thought we did that at your mom's, but the tent wasn't. By the time we got to your house, it's pretty much flat.
Yeah.
Maybe we tried your dad's first.
I just remember my dad calling me at least twice for the next, 4 weeks. Hey, great. When you get a chance, just get the tent out of the garage. I'm pretty sure. Unless I'm
maybe. No, you're probably right.
Unless I'm misremembering.
You're probably right. And then I remember I had to fill up gas, and we drove by the Hamilton County Memorial Cemetery, and I said something about, the guy who has to mow the cemetery lawn all the time and upkeep the perfect grass. And then we sat and talked in Hardee's for, another 2 hours. And
the rest is history, as they say.
We've been homies ever since. Best homies. Homies that are going to open up a candle store together. Like a couple of straight men.
Yes.
How do you feel about having, I don't know, a robot there to, be our companion to share? Like a Roomba with parts.
Be open to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that off the air. It's been 73 minutes, 74 minutes. I'm pretty happy with this. I think we can talk about maybe part 2 of where the friendship went, and why we think that it turned into what it did. Later, we can talk about your trip. We can talk about all of this more. We can literally do the same format later. If there's no shortage of things that we can talk about, I can have you on every other show. You're the man. Thank you for doing this.
It's my pleasure. It is a lot of fun.
Okay.
It's exciting.
Something else that I'm going to do with this, and I almost forgot. I'm having my guest introduce a song. That's how I'm going to play this show out. I'm going to have them introduce a song that they don't know that I'm writing. Stop peeking, dude. I'm going to write it down. You can introduce it. I'm going to edit it in later, and then that's how we're going to end the podcast.
That's pretty genius.
So introduce it any way that you want, but this is the song.
Did I just read it?
You can read it. You can sing it. You can say who it's by. You can do your radio DJ. Any way you want to introduce it, go for it. But that's the song.
Okay. Well, we're going to play off with some Blame It on the Tetons by Modest Mouse.